Good morning, everyone. My name is Paula Thomas, and today I'll be presenting this diversity and equity improvement plan for Sachs High School as part of my coursework for EFD 552, Diversity Issues in Education, under the guidance of Dr. Jimmy Barnes. This plan outlines strategies to address equity gaps and promote inclusive practices at the high school. Sachs High School is located in rural Calhoun County, Alabama, and serves about 460 students in grades 7 through 12. The student body is quite diverse, racially and socioeconomically, with over 70% qualifying for free or reduced lunch, and a growing English learner population. This diversity offers both challenges and unique opportunities for inclusive educational practices. Despite the diversity, Sachs High School faces several challenges, such as currently being ranked in the bottom 50% of Alabama high schools. Achievement gaps persist across race, income, and disability status. The gifted and AP programs lack representation, and they have been seeing high absenteeism and disciplinary referrals. There is limited culturally responsive resources, which makes it harder to engage all students meaningfully. As for opportunities, the diverse student population presents a valuable chance for inclusive growth. This plan draws from several research-based frameworks, such as Payne's work on generational poverty and Cassell's SEL model, which is to shape a strategy that addresses trauma, poverty, and systemic inequities through culturally responsive and inclusive approaches. Now, going with that, there are equity gaps in generational context. Of course, today's students differ in motivation, how they identify with themselves, their engagement in class, how they deal with authority. And this equity planning has to reflect the changes that we're seeing in society. The plan also targets specific equity gaps. Research shows that a lack of teacher diversity can negatively affect student outcomes. Students of color often face bias, discipline, and lower expectations. Homelessness is another crisis that affects students' academic and physical well-being. It's not as well known, but it's there. And addressing these disadvantages that tend to overlap each other is critical for true equity. As for an implementation timeline, it's been broken down into two main phases, year one and year two. In year one, the focus is on professional development, needs assessments, and building support systems. By year two, the aim to implement targeted interventions and evaluate outcomes will be adjusted as needed. So in year two, the expansions as needed. We have benchmarks and goals. These are the performance targets we hope to achieve by 2027. They include improving reading and math proficiency among special education students by 10%. Seems lofty, but it's possible. Increasing achievement among low-income and Hispanic students, reducing chronic absenteeism. We're hoping to reduce it by 10%, and closing the gender gap in STEM. Each goal is aligned with subgroups' needs and progress tracking. As you can see, the chart there shows you the differences. Like right now, female students are performing 8% below the male students in Sachs High School's population. White students need to progress 7% in state test percentiles. Low income, we'd like to see go up in math and ELA by 8%. And the way that's going to happen is in year one and year two. Co-teaching SPED students in core subjects. Hosting inclusive bilingual family nights will help the ELLs. Launch after-school tutoring for special education and low income in particular. Initiate girls STEM and literacy initiatives because there are too many female students who are not achieving to their full potential for whatever reason. It could be income-based, it could be racial, it could be gender, but they need to see other women. Mid-year surveys to track engagement and climate just to see how it's going and see what needs to be changed. Then we can expand after school and equity clubs. We can launch peer mentoring. We can do academic mentoring for underperforming white students, all students for that matter. Conduct many equity audits and walkthroughs, host public celebrations and showcases to really get the students pumped about the work that they've been doing. and then release a sustainability plan and final equity report, which will hopefully bring us to some of these targets by 2027. And then the projected growth over time is showing you just some of those things I already talked about there, how it can have an impact. And then, of course, SEL and engagement main content, social and emotional learning. That is what SEL is. It is not just about emotional support, it's directly tied to equity. It promotes mental health, boosts academic engagement, and improves behavior overall. SEL strategies are particularly important for underserved and trauma affected students. This approach strengthens both academic and social outcomes and supports culturally responsive teaching. And then, of course, the references that have been used for this plan include data from the Alabama Department of Education, SEL research by Cassell, and insights on poverty and multicultural education from authors like Payne and Gagg. Each resource helped shape the plan and helped ground it in the research that is tailored to the local school demographics. Thank you.